What's wrong, Marius? Your left eye is twitching like you've got something to say.
Right. Well, I just... You know, with your face...
Looks like we'll have to find another way through. Or looks like we'll have to find another way through. Or
Don't see a better way down. You first. I'll be right behind you.
Envoy, I've seen Mount Forja erupt before, but never like that. It's like it was angry, like it was screaming in pain. I don't know what really happened, but I assume Sapadal was involved. Blessed gods. Is it too much to ask to just let us live our lives for a while? It's like they have nothing better to do. Anyway. If I must.
When you find Sapadal, I hope you tell him how much I love what they've done with this place. I'm a man of hidden depths. What's not to love about floating islands and a spectral tree? Besides, as divine prisons go, I can imagine much worse. And Sapadal definitely isn't docile. Not from what we saw on Mount Forja, or outside the ruins of Nakukubel. Exactly. And what are the odds that centuries of imprisonment have improved their temper? Setting them free means gambling with the lives of everyone in the living lands. It's not worth it, but it's not my call. And I don't envy you having to deal with a loose cannon of a god. But I envy even less the mess you're going to have when, we escape this place. I hate to burst your bubble, but I don't see how that's gonna happen. While we're tracking down your god, things are heating up between your Adiran comrades and the locals. Yeah, you've got bigger things on your mind right now. Just be prepared. If and when we get out of here, we're walking into a powder keg. And you'll have to choose a side. That's the part I don't envy. I don't. And for what it's worth, I wouldn't blame you for choosing that. Finding kin and countryfolk is a hard thing to ask of anyone. It's part of why I came out here. I lost my stomach for Rauatai's campaign and the Deadfire, but I wasn't going to turn insurgent against my own people either. I don't mean to burden you. It's late, and you've still got a god to face. Just know that whatever you choose, I'll fight alongside you. I'm with you to the end of this. Anytime. Good night, Envoy.
I've been researching.
Envoy? Blacked out at that Audra and the lava tubes beneath Solace. But it seemed different somehow. Right. I actually believe you. This is madness, Envoy. You spoke to the founder of Solace. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. People in Solace always claim they're speaking the word of Nandru. And here you are, actually hearing from the man. Doesn't even really matter what he said if you ask me. There are hundreds of Pargrunan who'd give anything to hear Nandru's voice. Blessed day impressive is what that is. Envoy, what do you need? Pleasant dreams. Envoy, what do you need? Let's make sure they're not listening. Who do you want to talk about? Giada's a mystery to me. Animancers give me the freakus, and for good reason. Most of them would just as soon turn your soul into jewelry as look at you. Giada seems different. She's smart, thoughtful, and she's got a spine, too. You can tell when someone needs extra help out here, and she doesn't. So, yeah, I don't understand her, but I guess I don't have to, really. Thanks for talking. Envoy, what do you need? Let's make sure they're not listening. You already asked about Giada, so you probably want to talk about Kai or Yatsley. I don't know. Things have changed a bit, I guess. She's not so bad. I mean, she's loud and impulsive and always trying to get herself killed, and she keeps saying things to get a rise out of me, Envoy. But joke's on her. No one's gotten a rise out of me in years. But other than that, we can get along. She can be sweet, too, when she's not introducing me to a new word for my oak and acorns. Not before I've done some reading. Envoy, what do you need? Let's make sure they're not listening. The only one we haven't talked about is Yatsley. I don't know. Things have changed a bit, I guess. She's not so bad. I mean, she's loud and impulsive and always trying to get herself killed, and she keeps saying but until next time.
A breath held. Trepidation. You are close, yet distant still. The moon has many faces. Different songs for different days. We know your light. We seek what swims inside you as you wane. We wonder. We did not foresee this. The debt of knowledge we concede. A question like the ocean. What is wanting? What is what? We would run, roll with the tide, sink our fingers into new earth. Whisper in the fields, lift the hills gently in our hands. We must remember. Yes, new blooms from pruned growth. Vengeance denied, squandered. This cannot be. We spoke of flowers. We speak of freedom when the hand still clasps around our throat. Wake now. Find us.
I see the disciple has found his way into the cell.
No. Clarion Steel. We know this voice. Why is she here?
It seems I was not clear enough when I last spoke with you.
Out. Out. Her voice pierces our skin.
Look at this place. A quagmire of your parasite's worst instincts. Can you even begin to grasp the forces that you tamper with? Apparently, I must. The situation is worse than I perceived. Do you think you're special, with your god's thorn in your side? Do you believe you can hold dominion over chaos itself? When even the collective fury of the real gods could only confine the sniveling creature to this wasteland. You couldn't possibly believe we would not intervene.
It is true. She twists the knife. The seas run red with memory.
In time, the gods felt the wretched powers seeping through this land. Its madness would consume us all if it was not contained. Chaos has no respect for borders. It goes where it will. A pity that its followers could not be reasoned with. The poor goddess, worshipping the very thing that subsumed her. We could not excise the rot and spare the roots that nourished it. You dare claim the domain of the gods is trivial? True leaders make choices when others would turn away.
She scolds and scorns and wrings the earth dry. Purge her from this place.
Listen to its tantrum. It knows neither order nor sense. Adir is the only thing holding back the tide of entropy. Then you understand the gravity of the task ahead. You are here now. There's still time to succeed where Ludwig failed. Face your false god and end its reign of terror permanently. Your soul, it is tethered to you. Only you can siphon its essence into yourself. The path of justice is fraught. Only the strong may follow it. I leave you with a warning. The false god's essence is strong here. It taints all it touches. My magfolk may be hostile to you. Stay vigilant and remember your oath.
I never thought I'd learn of the Godless's fate from their killer.
That's it. From now on, no God.
What is that? I know... Oh no. No. Why is this? They're dead. Like... it just happened. Like I remember.
This is the moment I found you. Bundled and crying, while our parents died.
Viate. You're not here. You can't be here.
I am dead, Viate, from the Dream Scourge. We are in the garden. As strange as this seems, it is normal here.
No, Envoy. I don't know much about this place, but I know this is where I need to be. I have faced this already. Why force me to do it again? Then for the god's sake, what is it? I am exhausted, Viate. I can't take much more of this.
You know where we are. This is my memory. When everyone died, and I found you back in your tent. How much of this do you remember? I can't tell from your eyes.
We dealt with Razvan. He got what was coming to him.
Yes. He is here as well. I don't think he particularly wanted to see you. Sapadal wants to understand. They know your envoy very well, but not the people next to them.
I have what I needed. We dealt with Razvan. We avenged our parents' deaths.
Then maybe it was I who needed to speak with my Viate. With a clear mind this time. Even when we were children, you kept me alive, first by needing my protection, and then by being who you turned out to be. When you left Solace, it was like I lost more than my best friend. I lost my need to live.
I know. And I'm not sure I'll ever live that down. I don't think I know how. Right. You're right. We don't have time for this. And if we did, you know blessed it well, I'm not falling for the sack of Sokka. So, what do we do now? Well, that answers that, I suppose. We've both been through so much. But I can see that it's all behind us now. Just another thing we've survived after all this time.
A fine way to put it. Get out of here. Hike up your waistline and go talk to a god. They'll be waiting.
Well, it was good to see you, Viate. Even with all this.
Take care of my little friend, Envoy.
That'll show him.
People.
Marius, dear. How are
No
you
one was
feeling?
left to clean up the battlefield.
I'm alright.
Now it's just a time-forgotten
Same old
ruin.
Under my protection.
Patience, I'm almost ready. Just a little spark. Little power goes a long way. I recognize this. It belongs to Tama.
It looks just like Tama's. Tama. No. No. I dealt with this. We stood at his memorial together. What is this, Envoy? This is your God's prison, not mine. It feels like I'm standing on a storm-tossed deck. I can't focus on his face. His features keep blurring, changing. I'm not sure. I know it's him, but I don't recognize him as the Tama I knew. It's like he keeps changing in front of me. Does that make sense? No. I've spent too long looking away. I used to remember his face so clearly from that night. His rigid jaw, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners. He was in pain, but trying to hide it. I did. You know, it never occurred to me how much he would have hated that. But this Tama's more than that. All his moments at once, joy, sadness, anger, heartbreak, stomachache, everything from the handful of years that I knew him and the decades before we'd met. He's almost a stranger. I'm not. All this time I kept him frozen in his worst moment, when he was suffering and when I failed him. But now that I see him as more, it's like he's free of that. You're right. I am. It's like you said. I was so focused on my shame that I forgot about everyone else who was counting on me. I won't make that mistake again. We've spent long enough with my past. You and I haven't always seen eye to eye, but I respect that you're the one making tough decisions. And it means more than I could say that you've been by my side through this. So whatever comes next, I'll be by yours. Now let's go find this god of yours and end the dream scourge. When we reach them, what do you think we'll find? A victim? A villain? It's hard to imagine the dream scourge coming from a blameless soul, isn't it? Let's end this. I'll follow your lead, as always.
Charge it up. Little power is a long power. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I going mad? What is the meaning of this? It can't be real. This is an illusion. A joke. Tell me we're both seeing the same thing. I was afraid of that. Why am I cursed to see this again? Why does the memory follow me wherever I go? Whoever is responsible, I'm tired of the bullshit. Step forward and answer for yourself, coward.
Godlike of Sapadal, long have we awaited you.
Finally, you've come home.
It's not just me, right? The plants are talking.
Oh my gods. They're alive? Let's not be too hasty.
Giada Castel, welcome.
Wait, you know me? How do you know me?
For centuries, our whispers filled the silence. Then we heard your mother's call.
My mother? You heard her?
She reached out to us, using the tool you now carry.
But that would have been years ago. The first time she used the phantasmal focus. The only time she used it.
We heard, and Sapadal answered, saying in a great voice, "We are here. You have found us."
But when Sapadal speaks, the living lands trembles. The voice of a god can be a terrible thing.
No, this can't be. What exactly happened to my parents? Tell me, please. I need to know.
Sapadal wanted to be heard, and in so doing, twisted your family in body and soul, broke them into a more suitable shape.
Sapadal does not know the limits of their strength. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made? Do you have any idea what my life has been since your little mistake?
After the incident, your parents were like us, and we took pity, so we helped them move on, as they wanted.
In the end, they thought only of you, their pride, and their love.
That's it. That's really it. The answer I've been searching for all these years. Sapadal destroyed my family. Indulge me a moment. I've been waiting a long time for this. One final question, spirits. What is this? Why are you trying to ruin my life again? Is this your way of haunting me? What is it you want?
Not to be pedantic, but that was 4 questions.
We want to apologize on Sapadal's behalf, and for the part we played in your sorrow.
They want to apologize. I came to the garden for answers, not to offer forgiveness. Easier said than done. For once, I'm going to heed my own advice. Listen to what my heart tells me. If you seek forgiveness, look for it within. Don't ask me to give up any more than I already have.
We understand. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. And thank you, Godlike, for bringing her all this way. The time has come for you to find your patron, as you were meant to. May the living lands receive you with open arms. Farewell.
Goodbye. We need to talk about this, but not here.
Her space, dearie. Giada will speak more when she's ready. Sea Elf is in its heyday. In its full splendor. On your left, dear. Someone leave it to me.
Give me a second. I was worried for a second. Just a little spark. Charging. Absolutely not. Just a little spark. Little power goes a long way. Just a little spark. Survived. Somehow.
There's always a weird sort of quiet on the eve of battle. I'm feeling that now. Seems like a good time to gather our thoughts and share a drink before whatever's coming.
Right. This seems like a perfect place to stop and relax.
Though it's hard enough to tell what's real here without a belly full of drink.
Sounds like you're nervous, dearie.
I'm feeling all kinds of ways. Anxious, excited, scared, hungry.
I feel it as well. It is only mortal to feel overwhelmed in the presence of the immortal.
Let's take this in for just a moment. Against all odds, we've survived the living lands, crossed an acid sea, and reached the prison of a god. When we first met, I didn't think you'd last long. But then I saw how you handled that dream thrall bear. Shook off your own death like a bad cold. And then you found your own killer and turned him in. It's rare to choose justice over vengeance, especially in the living lands. But you stood by your principles. I think that's where you get your strength.
I didn't know much about you at that point. You were traveling with Kai and you died, which I thought made a lot of sense.
I remember your calm, how you listened to my shouting match with the governor and actually heard me. And when they burned my home, you gave me another one. A sanctuary where I could be myself. I'll never forget that.
I thought you could have been more helpful personally.
And now look at you. Look at us. How far we've come in a short time. One crisis at a time, please. I can only lose so much sleep.
He's right. Not to raise the sails before the anchor, but we left trouble in our wake. Fjord, Thirdborn, Solace. If we make it out of here, it won't be to a living lands suddenly at peace.
Just this once. Could we forget about the rest of the living lands? Some of us could use a break.
If we can't take a moment to ourselves on a floating island outside reality, then I don't know where we can.
Right. We could all use some beauty rest. We'll want to look our best on the battlefield, won't we?
Before we turn in for the night, I'd like a word in private. Nothing serious, just planning out the rest of my life.
Get some sleep. There'll be plenty.
All this time, I thought my parents died in a freak accident. An experiment gone awry. A mistake. And in a way, they did. But it wasn't their mistake. It was Sapodal's. Vengeance won't bring them back. And it won't heal what's broken in me. This whole experience has me considering my family's work in a different light. Look at what my mother accomplished. Armed with her research and her wits, she found a god. When you speak to a god, it's nothing. Barely a reflex. But for the rest of us, it's unimaginable. No animancer can live up to that. Certainly not me. I thought their legacy was a curse, and I could only break it by completing their work. I was wrong. I suppose I have been all this time. I just never realized it. One thing is certain. When it comes to animancy, I need to unlearn some of my old assumptions. I wanted to tame the spirit of the living lands. Now, there's so much about it I don't understand. And it's creepy, but wonderful. Hey, this is a big moment for me. Don't trivialize it. I believe the power flowing out of the garden drove this island mad. That has to end. Through animancy, we could help the living lands recover. It would take a lifetime, maybe more, but that's a small price to pay. Then again, who am I to interfere with an ecosystem that I barely understand? On the other hand, half the fun of animancy is stirring the pot and getting into trouble. I think I know what I want, but there are too many variables to consider. What do you think? have a lot of catching up to do, and plenty of room to grow. But I think you're right. So be it. Starting today, I don't have to live up to anyone's example. Animancy can be whatever I make of it. I knew they would be. And not just because some ancient plans told me so. Now I just have to decide which field of research to pursue. But no need to bore you with the details. I've only got one lifetime as Giada Castel, so I'd better make it count. You and I do not always see eye to eye. But just this once, thank you for hearing me out.
If anyone's gonna lead the way for animancy, I can't think.
I came here to help you do whatever you're supposed to do with your god friend. Instead, I'm here talking to dead people. Right. I understand. You've got a lot on your mind. Anyway. You too.
Hey, Giada. How are you holding up after seeing those plant people?
Well, I've seen things not intended for...
I think we've found Sapadal's home.
That's it. The heart of the garden. Sapadal's cage.
Safe to assume that the large glowing door is part of Sapadal's prison. Now, we'll just have to get past it.
Sapadal's prison, I think. What else could it be? Time to shut it down forever.
Yeah.
We've got company!
You asked for it! Upward, watch your left!
Who's next? Anyone? Mind of its own. I'm looking for the skeleton. Look out! you imprison a god.
Watch your right!
someone! Come on! That was a close one.
Much as I want to look around, we need to find your god fast.
At last you see our prison, the place where we have suffered. You are so small, we questioned if you were real. Then steps, a voice, through armies and corrupted soil, you persevered. Now, you are here. The rot. We feel it festering and spreading. What is it but an extension of our pain? Your dream scourge will end when our suffering does. We were innocent once. We woke, and we wanted nothing but connection. But the other gods imprisoned us, left us to suffer alone in this place. We refuse to remain caged. Release us. The strangler is close now. We feel her wire against our flesh. She begs for our blood. Her wolves defile the city on the shore. The prey flees, hides. Talons carve a sentence in our skin. She strikes us now. Now! Pluck her out! We must be free of her! A spark. Wait. The essence bends here. Time flows into itself. You can reach her. Will the garden to open, it will take you there. Breathe. Focus. Shape the essence with your hands. We were everything. What have we lost? What multitudes could we contain? We could run, leap in the water, flourish in forgotten hills. And pile injustice upon injustice. Never. We are owed for what they did. Let us rend our foes, burn them as she burned us. No, we would strike back at those who have caged and tormented us. You met death and imposed the law of mortals. We must bring the same. Look what they did to this land. You showed us that there is a time for punishment. Let us have our justice, our vengeance. But you would accept the risk of so many dying in a city that time will forget? Let us free! We will not ask again. We want them to suffer as we did. We want to make them pay. The blood of our tormentors, warm in our throats. We deserve a taste. Just as the bear did. The time has come for you to act. End our pain, and the dream scourge will cease. Let us free. We will rain fury on our enemies and shield our lands once more. What? Stop this! Stop! Bars become walls, stone, emptiness. They close, they press, bones shatter. We cannot breathe. Please!
Andra's depths.
It's paradise. But what happened here?
What? Are we back in Dawnshore? Already?
That must have taken an incredible power. Beyond all mortal understanding. How do you feel? Very funny. At least your sense of humor is intact. Whatever happened back there, it appears our work isn't finished yet.
Are you seeing this? I don't think Paradise looked like this when we left it.
Looks like the war already started, and the giant roots are winning.
Marius, vines don't usually get that big this quickly, do they?
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone 2 or 3 weeks.
For once, I wish I wasn't. Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time? Assuming there's even a difference.
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams that feel like an eternity.
Look at this place. Feels like we're still in the dream. And not just us. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel Garrote banners past the barricades. That can't be good.
Even Ringrim is here. Perhaps we'll get to see an Archmage in action.
I think I see Elia as well. What a strange reunion this will be.
The Blessed Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent started without us. Nah, don't be so hard on yourself. The Steel Garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time. This would have happened with or without us. This is like a drunken bar fight, just with a ton more people on both sides, and one of them led by a walking skeleton.
Before we go, what happened back there with the Dream Scourge and Sapadal?
Glad the Dream Scourge is over, but I can't help but think killing a god will have consequences.
I'm sure it wasn't easy, but I think that's for the best, Envoy.
I can't believe Sapadal is gone. For better or worse, the spiritual health of the living lands depended on them. What now?
We took out the Dream Scourge and Sapadal in one fell swoop. Quite impressive, really.
Some problems just keep rearing their ugly heads no matter what you do. Good news is, we've gotten pretty skilled at dealing with them.
We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part of it.
Guy! Envoy! They marched in with no warning. I couldn't think. I just ran.
Why is there
You're here
so
now. Where did they come from?
The envoy. Is that you?
So, here we are. The first and last battle for the living lands. You feel it too? I'm glad it's not just me. Metaphysically, the battle is already over. Sapadal is gone, and the Dream Scourge with them. But politically, we have a small mess to tidy up. I'd rather be an outlaw than live under Adiran rule. Anyway, who knows what tomorrow will bring? So let's be grateful for today. You've earned a little peace of mind. Get some rest then. Let me take the first watch. Besides, I need to tinker on the phantasmal focus. Make sure it's ready for war. Don't stay up too late. You too. We should take a moment to acknowledge what happened back there. You killed a god. The god of the living lands. Your god. How does it feel? I wonder if a god experiences suffering like the rest of us. What a loss. But to exist is not always a kindness. There is peace in death for those who knew none in life. Sapadal's imprisonment shaped this island. Now that everything's changed, I'm curious what will happen. We cannot know if the living lands will normalize or destabilize as a result of our actions. For better or worse, change is inevitable. Let's hope it all works out in the end, because the other gods aren't coming to answer our prayers. I hope you don't mind me bringing it up. The subject matter is a bit much for our little camp. We're not finished yet. For that, I'm grateful. I want you to know this has been an unforgettable experience. Wherever we go from here, I'm grateful to have been a part of it. Until next time. Not before I've done some reading.
There you are, Envoy. You ready for this? Understood. Same here. I guess whatever happens, at least we stop the Dream Scourge, right? This is just cleanup. Just figuring out who controls the living lands from here out. You have a lot to do. I just need to survive and make sure you live through this. Anyway, you should get some rest. Oh, if you need to rehearse any speeches or whatever, make sure you do it in front of someone else. Talk to you later, Envoy.
Everything your people have done.
Envoy? Is it really you? Oh, Kostya told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god.
When you didn't come out, we assumed you were dead.
Did you meet your god there? The one whose marks you bear?
It's too preposterous to believe. How could a plague be ended by speaking with a god?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Finally, a ray of sunlight shines through the storm cloud. If there was a campaign to deliver a cure, I didn't see it.
How could you? Hidden away in the tusks.
How safe is it looking now, Rawatai?
Warden Commander, look around you. Is this really the time?
Giata nearly had me convinced the Dream Scourge was some infection of essence. How could you stop such a thing, Envoy?
Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwine who called for the attack. She and her steel garrote laid siege to the city shortly after you beat her to the garden. Ludwine has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room?
Ah, here we go. This is the conversation you meant to force all along.
I understand your frustration, but please hear me out. Before you face Ludwine, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here. You can't be serious. You'd stand with the steel garrote.
No. Don't tell me you're bending the knee to the ones who burned my city.
Don't do this. I followed you to the ends of this world. We all did. But I won't follow you here.
No. If you do this, you better say goodbye, Envoy. I won't help you sell out my home to that Korba.
I thought you were smarter than this, Envoy.
And here I thought I had you pegged, Envoy. You surprise me.
If you think Thirdborn will submit without a fight, you're out of your mind.
My people's heads would be first on the chopping block. Envoy, I implore you, think this through.
No one will stand with you if you do this thing. What in Remagon's eight blasted hells are you thinking?
So be it.
So, you think we'll simply lie down as you grind us under your boot heel? Arrogant, self-righteous fool.
Trust an Adiran to betray you. I should have known.
I knew I could trust you to make the hard choice.
After everything we've seen and done. What an awful way to end things between us. But what choice do I have? I'm returning to my people, where I belong, to prepare for the end. I suggest you do the same.
I thought we were a crew, Envoy. But you're betraying everything we fought for.
I guess you made your choice, huh? Good working with you, Envoy. Maybe we'll share a drink sometime in the future.
After all the Steel Garrote have done, you choose them. It was nice knowing you, Envoy. But I refuse to be part of this.
Hurry now. Find Ludwine and let her know what we've done here. Be clever, be swift, for I fear your life is forfeit. And be well. Go now on Helia's wings. Gods have mercy on us all.
This
Give
is
me one
bullshit.
more moment.
I have nothing to say to you. Oh, do you think that might have something to do with it? After I was banished, you were there for me. You gave me a home, a purpose. thought I knew you. And the envoy I knew wouldn't sell us out to the Steel Garrote. They burned my city to the ground. You really think the Living Lands is better off under their control? It's one thing for you to step in line with your idiotic countrymen, their bigotry and their intolerance. What really gets under my skin is how you betrayed the very people who carried you this entire time. Answer me one question. What am I to you? Somehow I think you'd manage. Let's make one thing clear. The siege has got to stop. The fighting needs to end. The Living Lands cannot descend into war. Against my better judgment, I even hope you survive. I really do. We took our godlike for granted, and now most of them are gone. Your death would be significant. Sad. Like losing an endangered squirrel. But I can't stand by and watch you bend the knee to Inquisitor Ludwig. You can do that alone. If you truly believe that, then I never knew you at all. It's funny. I don't invite hatred into my heart, but I made an exception for Ludwig. I really wanted to kill her. Shame I won't get the chance. Not in this lifetime.
I would have understood you sticking with Adir after all this, and I would have fought by your side. But the Steel Garrote, that's where I draw my line. That ended when you agreed to take up arms against Paradis on behalf of a zealot. I should have seen the signs. For all your skill and cleverness, I never really understood what matters to you. I thought following a strong commander was enough. I'll always be grateful for how you helped me make sense of Thomas' loss. And now I understand myself well enough to know that helping you would be a decision I couldn't live with. No, you won't see me again. And if you do, you better keep your guard up.
Well, if it isn't the Adiran envoy himself. Oh, it must be lovely not having to pretend, to hide. To be able to show yourself as the monster you so clearly are. Then I sincerely hope you don't mind walking alone, envoy. You have consigned all of the Living Lands, everyone I love, to a horrible fate. The yoke of Adir will crush everyone, and it will be all your fault. It's stunning to know that after all we've been through, meeting a new god, talking to ghosts, this is truly a horrible surprise. Though I suppose I should have expected it from the man who destroyed Nakukubel. Before this, I would have counted you as a friend. Now? No, envoy. We can't. I don't know you. And I don't care to. Good luck, envoy. You'll need it.
What's that? Got any other Nimdut decisions you want to tell me about? Right. Benefit to you, maybe. Ask the people of Fjord what benefits they got. You helped me through some really rough Saka, so I say this with all the love and respect possible. You have lost your Sundant mind, envoy, and you're dragging us all down with you. I guess you think the Living Lands needs more razing of villages and wholesale slaughter of heretics. I bet you didn't even think about what this would do to Giada. They destroyed her home, Nimdut. Quiet. Marius is talking. The person who helped me confront and overcome the most painful moments of my life would not have made that decision. So you are not that person anymore. After tonight, we're done. You can find someone else to guide you to the next genocide. That's what I just said, isn't it? Just go. I'm done with you. Duke de Dragu, envoy.
After them! Charge!
Awesome shooting!
Demands your submission. Stand against her and fall. There you are. Envoy. So, you survived the garden, and now you face me alone. What happened to your loyal companions? The turquoise giant, the sad hunter, the orphan heretic, the irreverent speck of dust. Don't tell me they abandoned you. Ah, I thought I sensed something different between us. Is it true, Envoy? Has the Burned Queen touched your soul at last? Have you come to join her army? Pledge yourself to the Steel Garrote, and you'll have the strongest fighting force in all of Aora at your beck and call. But I wonder, how serious is your commitment? I'll be the judge of that. Before I accept you into the Steel Garrote, I require a gesture of fealty. A sacrifice. Renounce Sapadal. Disavow yourself of your corrupted essence. Only then, when your soul is ready, may you kneel before me. For the glory, the dignity, and the power. Renounce them again, Envoy. Once more. Say it. Again. Very good, Envoy. What an obedient start to a long and promising career. Now, kneel before me. Receive your blessing. Excellent. With this blade, I dub you a knight of the Steel Garrote, and a servant of the Burned Queen. Remember thy place. Remember thine oath. Remember thy queen. Long may she reign.
Silence falls over Paradise, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. There is an absence in your thoughts where Sapadal dwelled. Once, the god of the living lands would have flinched at this rare moment of tranquility. Instead, they are one with the silence. The forces of the Steel Garrote assemble around you and Inquisitor Ludwine, ready to accept new orders. Whatever happens next, their loyalty is yours. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dream Scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the origin of the plague has been destroyed, put out of its misery, and leave it at that. The Living Lands is now a colony of the Adiran Empire, and Inquisitor Ludwine is its governor. She rules with a strangling fist, outlawing all worship of the gods save for Wodaka, and she replaces the settlement's leaders with loyal captains from the Steel Garrote. As her second-in-command, she charges you to tame the last of the frontier, and you work tirelessly to please her. An age of order and discipline is just over the horizon. The rebels of Paradise come to learn that resistance is futile. After the assassin Egwolf died in custody, many of his worst fears about the Empire are confirmed. Some of his people splinter off, while others abandon the fight entirely. Their alliance is never the same. The refugees of Emerald Stair find a cold welcome in the city of Paradise. Animancy is frowned upon, but their knowledge of agriculture is highly valued.
The first bountiful harvest improves relations. The ashes of Fior Messiverno continue to smolder. Scavengers avoid the ruins, fearful of spirits unleashed by animancy gone awry. The once promising city is nothing but a cautionary tale. The people of Shatterscarp find themselves caught between two sides, with Adirans keeping rule over the colony, and Dream Thralls still stalking the hills. Despite the steady flow of Adiran goods, some Thirdborners leave the city, trusting their chances with monsters more than those with an empire. The ones who remain watch with wariness and patience, waiting to see if Adir might let down its guard. With Solace Keep destroyed, the Pargrunan find themselves at the mercy of a world they once turned away from. Some cling to the site of the fallen fortress, rebuilding a meager settlement. Others are lured by Adiran riches to perform their craft work for the Empire. Kostya spends the rest of his days in Adir, negotiating better terms for his people. It is a life of luxury, but a bitter one. When Kai returns to Thirdborn, he's no longer running. He finds a town that's been diminished by struggle, conflict, and tragedy. He finds home. He helps repair Thirdborn's walls and train its defenders, carrying on Tama's legacy. And while his labors do not restore all that was lost, they build something new. As the flames die down in Paradise, Marius finds himself in the familiar state of being alone. He bids farewell to those he has come to know as companions and sets off for the wilderness, where he finds solace in the constant battle for survival. Aside from trips to Paradise or Thirdborn for supplies, he keeps his distance from civilization, disappearing into the wilds and taking his doubts and anxieties with him. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the living lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fior Messiverno lives on in her. No longer under the threat of imminent death, Yatsley returns to the Animancers. Reunited with her beloved Quilici, she helps him and the Animancers as they put their lives together after the attack on Fior Messiverno. Eventually, she even has something nice to say to Vidaro. As the days pass in contentment and relative peace, Yatsley is struck by the persistent feeling that something is missing. Though she still devotes herself to her studies of both the arcane and the godless, the restlessness never goes away. Alone in your thoughts, you feel endless opportunities stretching out before you. This is the freedom Sapadal never had. You promise to cherish it. An eerie quiet pulls you out of reverie. Your enemies are vanquished, and you and Inquisitor Ludwig stand triumphant. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.